Hello, my name is Jordi Gimenez, and I'm the head of technology of the 5G Media Action Group. We are an association based in Geneva, and we are gathering together stakeholders from the media industry and from the ICT domain in order to evaluate different opportunities that 5G may bring to the media industry. Today, under this presentation, Media and Beyond 5G Opportunities and Challenges, I would like to go through some of the activities that we are conducting, and also present some of the ideas we have in mind on the future of 5G and the next steps in terms of wireless IP technologies. So basically at the moment we are having a look at 5G. We are looking at the opportunities across the entire media value chain, and that involves, for instance, from content creation, where we see 5G playing a role, for instance, in these scenarios in which we need to connect microphones, we need to connect cameras, and in the end, take profit of the high performance KPIs of 5G in order to be able to deliver such use cases. In terms of contribution, we also see a 5G playing a role there. For instance, when you have journalists covering events somewhere, and you can benefit from 5G networks and 5G connectivity in order to get that signal straight away to the studio or to the cloud to do some kind of editing. And actually, in that domain, in the production domain, we see now opportunities, and given the situation with the COVID, we see more and more need to go IP and also to go remote. And then 5G with all the capabilities in terms of guaranteeing quality of service, in terms of low latency, in terms of high bandwidth, we see a lot of benefits for the media industry in these production and remote production scenarios. In terms of distribution, let's say the next step, so putting all this content out for the user, we see 5G playing a critical role in terms of infrastructures, for instance, leveraging cellular, terrestrial, and satellite infrastructures, but also getting close to the current services that are offered online or over the internet using CDNs. How to improve all those services, how to improve the quality of service, the coverage, and in the end, the user experience. And final step in terms of consumption, it's clear that we see an explosion at the moment on all these platforms and applications, from linear TV and radio to on-demand catch-up content, podcasts, and so on, and even more consumed everywhere in any device. We see here watches, we see smartphones, but we also see the role of connected cars with car infotainment systems just getting connected IP. So that's all the different domains where we see 5G and, let's say, wireless IP technologies playing an important role. And just going to the first domain, media production, as I said, we see remote production, news gathering, outdoor broadcast, and, for instance, also the possibility of using your own networks, your own media campuses or non-public networks for arranging your setup of equipment and making use of 5G and the features coming with 5G to make this kind of more flexible production setups. So where are we in this domain? Where are we in terms of 5G and content production? In SA1, during release 16, there was some work to onboard requirements for the media industry in order to realize some of the use cases where we see 5G playing an important role. And this is now becoming, let's say, more real. So this is now becoming standardized. We see work going on in network slicing, which is a feature that, of course, helps in that domain, and also in non-public networks. So, as I said, the possibility of building your own network with your equipment connected to it, and being able, let's say, to leverage the properties of 5G. We also see work in Release 17 on enhancing this, also on security, for instance, on non-public networks, timing and synchronization, very important for production, and also work on proximity services or this device-to-device, where we also have some use cases. In general, well, just to point out one of the key topics that we are looking at is non-public networks for media production, and we see several steps or several components. In principle, starting from a technology neutral point of view, so you have equipment that is already IP capable, let's say. But, well, you keep the existing systems and you just attach them to the existing 5G network or 5G infrastructure. But we also see a step forward in, for instance, technology convergence, so that equipment, EMS equipment, becomes 5G native and is already able to get connected to 5G or to get onboarded directly to 5G, making use of all the functionalities that 5G provides. In that sense, well, and in any case, spectrum is needed. The spectrum for media production is needed, and, well, we are analyzing several options in that domain, but recognizing in the end that it's important to have a global harmonization of spectrum in order to create a big market, let's say, of equipment that is interoperable across different countries and across different regions, so that, well, we end up in global equipment, devices, and so on. Important also to have a look at the isolation of data and let's say, to have the possibility to manage the network, these non-public networks, and to have control on the traffic, and also on automatization, as well, the complexity of these setups sometimes is beyond the expertise of the media company. So we are having a look at all these aspects. In terms of characteristics and features, well, this is, I think, something that we are starting to see onboarded in 5G, and we are sure that this will continue with the evolution of 5G and towards 6G and so on. We have very particular requirements from media production in terms of synchronization, in terms of high uplink throughput, that generally, well, high throughput is generally achieved in the downlink, but not in the uplink. We have issues with mobility and deployment flexibility. And in the end, well, there are several components that, in any case, need to be worked more in order to be able to deliver all these use cases that we have in mind for media production. In terms of distribution, we are having a look at different aspects. Achieving a scalable distribution with unicast, multicast, and 5G broadcast. Achieving that these services are viable under mobility and under global coverage. Here, for instance, terrestrial and satellite architectures may play a role in achieving these cost-effective network deployments with universal coverage. And we are also having a look at opportunities that 5G or related technologies, let's say, in the ecosystem of 5G, may bring to media distribution. Case of edge caching or edge computing, the onboarding or specific media network functions on the 5G network, or the use, for instance, of network slicing for guaranteed quality of service. Where are we? Well, we know under LTE there has been work on onboarding requirements for broadcasting, requirements from the media industry for doing linear TV and radio broadcast. This work has finished in release 16 with the so-called LTE-based 5G terrestrial broadcast. But, we see that this does not finish here because, with 5G, new radio, and with the 5G core, we also have opportunities to have a look at how to distribute all this content. We have work on 5G satellite and harmonization or the hybrid integration of satellite and terrestrial. We have work going on media streaming architectures. We have work on, for instance, traffic split across different access networks and even between fixed and wireless networks. And release 17 is already coming with new opportunities, as I said, around multicast and broadcast that we need to follow, understand, and in the end, analyze for being used for media distribution. In the end, what kind of services? As I said, there is an explosion in terms of these applications that are available everywhere, in smartphones, in cars, in even watches, and so on. So content needs to be available anywhere at any time, and for users to be able to consume it using any device. And when we refer to content, we mean, of course, linear content, traditional TV, radio, also live sports, live events, and so on. But also a lot of non-linear content that is consumed currently, and that allows, for instance, a higher degree of personalization towards the end user. And as I said, different environments for 5G media distribution are emerging. We see consumption at home, we see connected cars, we see consumption on the move, and even, we have here a picture of flight entertainment systems, which are also in the scope, and that where 5G may play a role. In the end, all these services would need to be delivered with scalability, with universal coverage, with guaranteed quality of service, regardless of network congestion. Interoperability across different networks and different architectures need to be ensured. Free access for users when it comes to public service media is something desirable. And in the end, having a look at how to sustain distribution cost towards the service providers. It's another very important topic. In the end, looking beyond 5G, where we see options for future analysis are on the efficient integration of wireless infrastructure, cellular, terrestrial, satellite, leveraging cloud-native approaches. It doesn't make much sense, let's say, for a media company to dedicate some development for current cloud systems and not being able to port all of these, for instance, to 5G edge when it comes to computing resources. We need to continue work on integration and access for the vertical industries, in this case for the media industry, with APIs and with with real opportunities to interact with the network and to bring 5G or to bring closer 5G to the vertical industries. Automation is also a very important point, given the complexity of the systems, as well as security, trust, and service integrity of the content that is being put in the 5G network. And that's it. Many thanks.